Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. My name is Matt. On YouTube, we post just one new story each week, but on our podcast, you'll find several fresh episodes released throughout the week. You can listen to us on all major platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Pandora, and more, all completely ad-free. Just look us up under the same name, Deep Sleep Stories, and enjoy. Now, take a deep breath, and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. Tonight you have chosen to embark on a gentle, enchanting journey, one that will carry you upon a midnight express, winding its way toward a magical academy at the very start of fall term. Take a moment now to settle into comfort. Notice how your body relaxes against the surface beneath you. Feel the hush that settles in the air around you, as if a soft curtain of calm has been drawn. Let your breath find a slow, steady rhythm, moving in and out like gentle tides along a quiet shore. And as you breathe, imagine you can feel every small worry dissolving, each concern drifting farther and farther away, until all that remains is a sense of serenity. Hear the subtle hum of nighttime, the distant breeze rustling through treetops, the faint hush of starlight filtering down. This is your invitation to wander into a softly lit realm where moonlit train tracks curve into unknown horizons, and where the promise of learning ancient secrets awaits you. Let the promise of this peaceful story hold you with a gentle warmth, guiding you deeper into relaxation and preparing you for a restful sleep. Now, as your eyelids grow heavier, allow any lingering tension to slip away. Soften your face and jaw. Let your neck and shoulders find ease, drifting toward stillness. If thoughts come and go, simply let them pass like leaves floating along a quiet stream. This is a moment made just for you, to rest, to breathe, to discover a world of quiet enchantment, where a midnight locomotive waits, ready to carry you and your imagination to a distant place. It's an antique train, standing at a station illuminated by the soft glow of lanterns. The scent in the air is something sweet and comforting, like warm bread baking or honeysuckle in early summer, though it's just the crisp night wind weaving its way through the station. As you continue to breathe deeply, let yourself sink deeper into this calm. Soon the story will begin in earnest, and you may simply follow along with gentle wonder, knowing that the path leads to a dreamy, restful place. Late one evening, as the moon rose high and silver across the sky, a young traveler named Emmeline stepped onto the deserted platform of an ancient railway station. The air hung thick with a hush that felt almost magical. Moonbeams played across the old wooden beams of the station roof, casting lace-like patterns on the stone floor. The train tracks glimmered faintly under the starry canopy, each rail a ribbon of steel leading away into the darkness. Emmeline carried a small leather-bound satchel filled with notes and fragments of half-forgotten spells. A light breeze teased the edge of her cloak, reminding her that this journey was as unusual as the wind that whispered in her ear. She gazed into the distance where a single lamp shone at the front of a tall locomotive. Its exterior was a tapestry of swirling gold and deep navy blue paint. Upon the side, faded letters spelled out the train's name in an elegant script. Emmeline could just make out the words, "The Lunar Wing." The locomotive gave a gentle hiss, seeming to welcome her. Its carriages, each with large windows and plush interior seats, waited in patient silence. A solitary conductor clad in a smart uniform with shining brass buttons stood at the threshold of the first carriage. He tipped his cap politely, his smile kind, as though he'd been expecting her. Without a word, he beckoned Emmeline inside, holding out a gloved hand to guide her up the narrow step. Inside, the corridor lights glowed with soft lamplight that lent warmth to the polished wood paneling. The carriage carried the slight scent of old books and lavender sachets tucked away in corners. The plush seats were upholstered in deep burgundy velvet. Each compartment was adorned with gentle golden sconces that flickered like fireflies. Emmeline found a compartment near the end of the corridor, sliding open its door to reveal a cozy space with high-backed seats facing each other, separated by a small table bearing a crystal vase of fresh blossoms. Although she couldn't recall seeing a florist or a sign of any garden nearby, the blooms were vibrant and sweet-smelling, as if plucked just for her arrival. She settled into her seat, placing her satchel beside her. The conductor appeared again, offering a calm nod before sliding the door shut. In the quiet that followed, Emmeline let her eyes wander over the details. The intricate carvings in the wooden walls, the subtle lines of age etched into the seats, and the feeling that here at last was a place free from the usual hurry of the everyday world. Outside through the window, the moonlight slanted over the deserted platform. Then a gentle lurch signaled that the train was on the move, rolling gracefully away from the station. The rhythmic, soothing clack of wheels on rails began, a lullaby of progress guiding Emmeline into a place where possibilities sparkled among the stars. As the Lunar Wing picked up speed, Emmeline noticed that the world beyond her window took on a different glow. The night's darkness was not inky or forbidding. Instead, it was dusted with tiny points of silver light, as though the sky had draped itself over the land in a shimmering veil. Occasionally, she glimpsed silhouettes of tall pines or rolling hills, but mostly she felt the dreamlike sensation of floating through a realm where time moved at its own unhurried pace. Drifting comfortably, she recalled the letter that had arrived just a week earlier, sealed with a wax crest depicting a crescent moon and a quill. Inside, in curly handwriting, she had read the invitation to attend the Academy of Moonlight Studies. Though she was still a bit unsure of what awaited her at this mysterious school, Emmeline felt a gentle tug of excitement in her chest. She imagined long corridors lined with bookshelves, potions bubbling softly in glass beakers, old professors flipping the pages of arcane texts under quiet reading lamps. Outside her window, constellations shimmered in patterns she had never noticed before. lending the entire journey an air of gentle suspense. The rocking motion of the train and the repetitive lull of its wheels soothed her, and she found her eyelids growing heavier despite her curiosity. Not wanting to miss the passing scenery, Emmeline reached for the silver reading lamp overhead, adjusting it so that she could keep her eyes open just a while longer. The gentle glow revealed her reflection in the window, a girl on the cusp of an extraordinary adventure, her features softened by the quiet hush of the night. She traced a fingertip across the window glass, noting how the reflection merged with the ghostly outlines of the countryside. Despite the calm, her thoughts buzzed softly with anticipation. Would the school be as splendid as she'd imagined? Would the professors smile knowingly, offering cryptic riddles that tested her curiosity and wit? Before she could delve too far into speculation, the corridor door slid open. A kindly attendant stepped into the compartment, quietly rolling a small cart. Upon it lay a teapot, wrapped in a snug cozy, along with a delicate porcelain cup. The attendant's voice was reassuringly low and melodic, offering Emmeline a special blend of bedtime tea said to calm the mind and warm the spirit. She thanked the attendant softly and sipped the tea, feeling the gentle hints of chamomile and honey swirl across her tongue. Almost immediately, a wave of comfort passed through her, and she felt as though she'd been wrapped in a gentle embrace. The minutes passed softly, merging into an hour, perhaps even more. Now and then, Emmeline noticed faint lights twinkling in the distance, perhaps villages asleep in the valley or small way stations that flickered only for a moment before vanishing into the night. Beneath the hush, the train's forward motion carried her toward a land unknown. The quiet was like a warm blanket, letting her float between waking and dozing. Every so often the train whistled gently as though greeting the stillness around it. Her mind drifted to the very beginnings of the Academy of Moonlight Studies. The letter had mentioned a storied history, founded centuries ago by an archmage who loved the moon above all else. Perhaps in those early days no ordinary roads led to its gates. Only those who received the special invitation traveled by a secret path, escorted by starlight. The letter also suggested that each new student would bring unique skills or aptitudes, from conjuring illusions to deciphering celestial scripts. Emmeline wondered which hidden talent her teachers had sensed in her. She felt that familiar warmth of curiosity stir in her chest. If there was magic in her, it still felt a quiet, mysterious thing, like a candle flickering softly in an unlit room. Now and again, the Lunar Wing gently slowed at solitary stations overshadowed by pines. More travelers, presumably bound for the same destination, boarded with hushed steps and quietly purposeful smiles. A few compartments away, a young scholar with round spectacles peered into a book full of star charts, pointing out constellations to a fellow traveler. Farther down the corridor, an older wizard dozed with a broad-rimmed hat tipped over his eyes, a small wisp of magical sparkle occasionally flickering from his fingertips as he dreamed. Yet no one disturbed Emmeline's stillness. It was a silent camaraderie of wanderers, all on the same path, their eyes tinged with wonder. Eventually the train meandered through a moonlit valley. Soft, rolling hills rose up from either side of the tracks, each slope draped in silver fog. The midnight sky arched overhead, scattering faint auroras of lavender and pale green. The aurora arc, some people called them, veils of light that occasionally appeared in that part of the realm, shimmering in quiet arcs across the darkness. Emmeline pressed her face to the glass, enchanted by the gentle swirl of color. She thought she saw shapes within the ribbons of light, perhaps the silhouette of a dragon in flight or an elegant swan stretching its wings. Her breath fogged the window, reminding her of the childlike sense of wonder that had led her here in the first place. As the Lunar Wing traveled deeper into the valley, the night air outside seemed laced with a subtle energy. Emmeline felt a tiny electric thrill pass through her fingertips, as though the very atmosphere hummed with possibility. Maybe the magical academy itself influenced the land. She could imagine wards of protection around the borders, spires that channeled moonlight into gentle enchantments, and meadows where students practiced elemental conjurations under watchful eyes. She pictured a courtyard with a softly burbling fountain where night-blooming flowers released their sweet perfume. Amid that tranquil scene, robed figures might stroll, exchanging scrolls and hushed conversation, each step bringing them closer to the hidden truths the Academy promised. After a time, the train glided onto a long wooden bridge. Below, the wide river shimmered with the reflection of stars. The gentle clatter of the wheels on the track merged with a hush of water flowing beneath. Emmeline allowed the lullaby of motion and sound to soothe her, the hum of the locomotive nearly matching the beat of her heart. She leaned back, letting her eyes close for a moment, feeling that warm heaviness that comes when sleep beckons. A curiosity nudged her gently. She fought the drowsy haze, not wanting to miss a single detail of the approach. The locomotive slowed again, this time rolling gently into an unassuming station perched at the edge of a vast moonlit forest. Over the station's arched entranceway hung an iron sign bearing the Academy's crest, a crescent moon cradling a single star. Pale lanterns shaped like pearls illuminated the platform. One by one, the new students gathered their belongings and stepped out into the whispering night air. Emmeline followed suit, carefully tucking her satchel under her arm as she alighted from the carriage. The platform felt both mysterious and welcoming. Soft moss grew around the edges of the wooden planks, and a distant owl called out with a soothing, low hoot that echoed gently through the towering trees. A gravel path meandered through the forest, and the group of arrivals walked quietly, hearts fluttering with anticipation. The tall pines stood like silent guardians on either side of the path, their needled branches swaying, offering a subtle, calming hush. Overhead, the moon watched them all, bright and curious. Emmeline's footsteps seemed to fall in sync with her measured heartbeat. With every step, the forest revealed a new secret, a cluster of moonflowers glowing white against the dark undergrowth. A small clearing where ancient stones jutted from the earth in a wide circle, but no sign of danger showed itself, only calm and a sense of readiness, as though the land welcomed these travelers. After a short while, the path opened onto a gently sloping hillside. There, nestled amid the quiet hush of tall grasses, stood the Academy of Moonlight Studies. It was a grand, twisting structure of stone and marble, rising in several elegant towers that stretched toward the star-speckled sky. Soft lights glowed from within its windows, setting the glass panes aglow with a warm and welcoming radiance. A set of wide, curving stairs led up to heavy double doors, adorned with carvings of celestial bodies, crescents, stars, and swirling comets. Emmeline felt a wave of awe wash over her. She took a deep breath, inhaling the comforting scent of dewy grass and faint traces of old incense that seemed to emanate from within the walls. The doors opened with an almost silent grace, revealing a main hall of generous proportions. Flickering torches lined the walls, casting a gentle, dancing light upon polished marble floors. Their glow accentuated the intricately painted ceiling, which depicted a vast cosmos complete with planets and swirling galaxies. As Emmeline stepped inside, she noticed that the hush of the forest had been replaced by an equally tranquil yet subtly buzzing atmosphere. Soft whispers echoed in the grand space, a quiet tapestry of excitement, each new arrival exchanging glances that conveyed both curiosity and warmth. At the far end of the hall, a graceful figure stood, wearing robes the color of midnight. He introduced himself as Headmaster Thalen, his voice steady and resonant, despite the near whisper in which he spoke. The headmaster welcomed everyone with kind words, describing the academy as a place where dreams entwined with knowledge, where starlight and study shared equal importance. His eyes gleamed with a gentle light when he spoke of the classes that would soon begin: enchanting illusions, lunar herbology, astral navigation, and the art of silent incantations. Emmeline felt her heart stir, the subtle nerves melting into keen anticipation. She was here at last, inside this place she had imagined so vividly. The headmaster gestured to the corridors branching off from the main hall, each corridor leading to a different wing of the academy. The living quarters, he said, were in the northern tower, where the windows were designed to catch the moon's glow. The library of astral knowledge lay in the eastern wing, brimming with ancient tomes gathered from realms near and far. A smaller corridor tucked to one side led to the gardens, a sanctuary for rare night-blooming plants. Another passage stretched off into the shadows, and though the headmaster did not elaborate, Emmeline could sense an air of enigma around it, a promise of future discovery. The new students formed small clusters, each heading to their assigned rooms. Emmeline found hers at the top of a spiral staircase, in a turret with a rounded window. The room was simple and comfortable, with a sturdy wooden bed, a small writing desk, and a plush rug. A sliver of moonlight spilled in through the curved window, illuminating a small vase of night lilies that someone had placed on the windowsill. The hush of the room felt comforting, embracing her with a sense of belonging. With care, she placed her satchel on the desk, setting out her notes and half-finished incantation scroll. She felt as though the quiet walls themselves welcomed her presence. Sleep beckoned, so she made her way down the tower stairs to find a late-night meal in a cozy dining hall lit by chandeliers of gently glowing crystals. A subdued, welcome feast was laid out. Bowls of warm soup steamed on the tables, accompanied by baskets of fresh bread. A soft floral fragrance drifted from pitchers of herbal tea. Other students sat at small tables, quietly introducing themselves between spoonfuls of comforting broth. Emmeline joined them, her cheeks feeling warm at first, but as she listened to their stories, she found herself smiling and soon exchanging her own. One student spoke of traveling from a far-off kingdom perched on floating mountains. Another mentioned a realm hidden beyond an ancient waterfall. Their journeys had all brought them to this one place of learning, each convinced there was something extraordinary here, waiting to be unlocked. The hours wore on with unhurried grace. Some students, weariness etched on their faces, excused themselves to find their beds. Others lingered, soaking in the wonder of the night's arrival. Emmeline finished her soup, grateful for the comforting warmth it offered, and then decided to explore the Academy's corridors a bit more before retiring. She wandered past old tapestries depicting heroic feats under a silver moon, their threads shimmering faintly under the glow of the sconces. She paused at a tall window overlooking the courtyard, where a circular fountain murmured gently. A handful of fireflies flitted around the water's edge, their lights winking on and off, as if communicating in secret code. In that moment, Emmeline felt a calm so profound that her thoughts slowed, each breath an invitation to linger in the quiet. The hush of the corridor, the faint trickle of the fountain, and the soft shimmer of moonlight combined to weave a comforting lullaby for her mind. She wondered how many nights like this she might enjoy, how many gentle walks under these same lights would await her in the weeks to come. For a moment, the urge to rush ahead and discover everything all at once gave way to a quiet acceptance. There would be time to attend lessons, unravel puzzles, and master new spells. For now, the greatest lesson of all was to be present, letting the gentle peace of the Academy envelope her. By the time she climbed the stairs back to her turret room, her eyes felt heavy. She opened the door and was greeted once more by the tranquil glow of moonlight on the night lilies. Carefully, she closed the door behind her, setting the latch in place with a soft click. Then she placed her hand on the small lamp by the bed, whispering a faint incantation she'd learned from a picture book as a child. The flame inside the lamp flickered lower, dimming until only a slight glow remained, just enough to see her way around the room. With a little sigh of contentment, Emmeline slipped off her shoes and sank onto the bed, letting her entire body rest against the soft mattress. She thought about the Midnight Express, the Lunar Wing, as it carried on, perhaps now bearing other travelers in search of their own magical destinies. She pictured it rattling along quiet tracks, wheels singing a gentle lullaby, the windows lit with the promise of dreams yet to be realized. Then she thought of her own reflection in the compartment glass, uncertain yet filled with hope, and a slight smile touched her lips. The first night at the Academy was a beginning unlike any other. She felt sure that in time she would grow into her gifts, guided by moonlit lessons and the steady companionship of fellow students who shared her wonder. In the hush that followed, the corridors below likely grew still. Footsteps became scarce. Even the torches along the walls seemed to burn lower, as if entering a restful slumber themselves. The night lilies on her windowsill gently swayed, responding to a soft night breeze that found its way through the slightly open window. That breeze brought with it the faintest trace of pine and damp moss, a reminder of the forest paths that led here. Emmeline breathed it in, letting her thoughts settle, letting her spirit ease into the comforting knowledge that she was exactly where she needed to be. Now, dear listener, let your own imagination drift from the Midnight Express that carried Emmeline to the quiet hush of her turret room, to the cradle of soft enchantment that lingers around each corner of the Academy. Allow your breath to become the gentle rhythm guiding you deeper into rest. Feel your shoulders release any final traces of tension, your muscles loosening until they feel pleasantly heavy. Notice the way each inhale carries a sense of calm, and each exhale ushers you into a deeper state of tranquility. Nothing hurries you now. There is no need to do or be anything beyond this moment of peaceful relaxation. Let yourself envision the moonlight as a soft glow that glides across your eyelids, soothing away any lingering concerns from the day. You may imagine that same hush that settled over the Academy drifting into your own space, quieting every sound until only a lullaby of stillness remains. Perhaps you can hear the distant echo of the Lunar Wing's wheels in your thoughts, their rhythmic clack-clack, a comforting reminder that you are on a journey of your own, moving steadily toward rest and renewal. If any stray thoughts attempt to stir, allow them to pass gently, guiding your attention back to this serene feeling of safety and ease. The night grows deeper, and the need for words grows ever softer. Embrace the slow ebbing of each sentence. Let them gently fade like the last echoes of a tranquil melody. You're safe here in this calm. The story weaves itself around you like a soft blanket, a shield of warmth and protection. There's nothing more you need to do. You have arrived at the edge of slumber, carried by a midnight express of gentle imagery and soothing sounds. Let the lull of the moment envelope you, every part of you settling into the soft, welcoming darkness that signals deep, restorative rest. And let yourself drift. Imagine the subtle hush of the Academy's corridors becoming a gentle hush in your own mind, quieting everything but the promise of sweet, steady sleep. Sink into this feeling. Accept its invitation. Feel your pulse slow. Breathe in the calm. Breathe out the day. When you exhale, allow a wave of peaceful relaxation to flow through your entire being. The journey is complete, and so your rest begins. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.